It's a complicated story and depends on how a hamburger is defined. Is it cooked chopped meat? Does the meat have to be beef? Does the meat have to be in a sandwich with a couple of slices of bread? Does it have to be in a bun? When and how did this all happen? Most of these stories were what Andrew Smith in Hamburger, A Global History called fake lore. The Mongols were on horseback most of the time. They sliced mutton or lamb and softened under their saddles for that great munchy meat treat with the unique sauce horse sweat. When Mongols invaded Russia, the Russians adopted this steak tartare. This was story one of Smith's fake lore. Trade brought the tartare steak to Hamburg, and sailors and German immigrants carried tartare steak recipes, which did not include any saddle time, to foreign lands. It was now called Hamburg steak and became a hit in New York City in the 19th century. This was only the first Hamburg story. Also in New York was the claim that Delmonico's 1834 menu featured Hamburg steak. The real food fight came to America with the sandwich part. As Texans, we have to support the claim of Fletch Davis, Old Dave, of Athens, Texas. Sometime in the 1880s, Old Dave grilled raw hamburger patties and served it at his lunch counter between two slices of toast. The hamburger really got noticed at the 1904 World's Fair at St. Louis as an innovation of a food vendor. Old Dave claimed he was the vendor, although there was no documentation that he was. Ditto anyone else selling hamburgers. There is a plaque on an Athens building at roughly the spot of Old Dave's lunch counter celebrating the birth of the hamburger. Annually, Athens holds the Uncle Fletch's Hamburger Cook-Off to promote Athens as the original home of the burger. In 2007, the Texas legislature resolved that Athens was the original home of the hamburger. Charles and Frank Mencius from Ohio sold pork sandwiches at fairs and picnics. They ran out of pork at the Hamburg Fair in 1885 and had to use chopped beef, which they served between two slices of bread and called the hamburger. Mencius descendants continued to serve hamburgers in Ohio. Wisconsin claims the burger title. In 1885, Charles Hamburger Charlie Negreen sold hamburgers at county fairs in Wisconsin, so Seymour, Wisconsin claimed the burger title. Not to be outdone by Texas, the Wisconsin legislature resolved that Negreen was the inventor. Louis Lassen set up a lunch wagon in New Haven, Connecticut, but not until 1895. The story goes, in the year 1900, a man dashed into a small New Haven luncheonette and asked for a quick meal that he could eat on the run. Lassen hurriedly sandwiched a broiled beef patty between two slices of bread and sent the customer on his way, then claimed this as America's first hamburger. Thanks to revolutions and more chaos in Germany, German refugees fled to America. including those opening butcher shops and restaurants. Hamburg steak on German restaurant menus became common soon after the American Civil War. Restaurateur Philip Lauber opened a German restaurant at the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition in 1876, where the Hamburg steak was a popular item. New York physician James Salisbury stated in 1867 that raw beef caused disease, suggesting instead that chopped beef should be pressed into patties and grilled, then condiments added. By then, the mechanical meat grinder had been invented. After that, Salisbury's steak recipes showed up in the medical journals and cookbooks. Salisbury steak replaced Hamburg steak in most references after Germany became our enemy in World War I. Oscar Bibley of Tucson, Oklahoma, claims to have made the first grilled hamburger in 1891, later claimed by an Oklahoma governor as the first hamburger on a bun. The first use of the commercial buns was claimed by Walter Anderson of Wichita, Kansas, about 1916, who also claimed the invention of the modern grill. Walter Anderson used the bun and grill, but is most famous for his restaurant chain, White Castle. That brings up burger chains next time on Food History and Mystery.